Hello friends, we're about to leave for Charleston. We're going to the beach and I want you to help me pick the books that I'm gonna bring. We're gonna do a cozy spring, summer reading vlog, no theme, just good vibes. Before we get into the TBR, I just want to thank everyone for the really kind messages that you left on my video where I explained everything that happened with Sully. I really appreciate the support. This is an incredible community. I was super nervous to share that with you all and I really just wanted to say thank you for all of your kind messages. Let's talk TBR because I have a lot of things that I'm considering bringing and we have to leave now, so we have to make some decisions. I think I'm definitely bringing this, which is a cute little like spring summer romance from the author of Lovelight Farms. Then on my Kindle, I have an arc of The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley that I'm like halfway through and I'm really liking so far. And I also have like a cozy fantasy that the author reached out to me and sent me a copy to review. So really excited about both of those. So I'm gonna bring that Kindle. And then I think I'm gonna bring one more thing. So here are our options. Vote in the comments. I have A Botanical Daughter, which is like a cottagecore horror situation. Fungus. We know I love a fungal horror. Then we have The Ministry of Time, which I just got as my book of the month book, which is like a time travel love story type situation. I think it's supposed to be funny as well. There's this guy from like the 1800s and she's teaching him what Spotify is. That could be interesting, fun beach read. Or we have Ancillary Justice, which is a sci-fi AI for fans of Murderbots. Or we have a really short Possession Horror by Sarah Gran. I feel like I don't want to bring a hardcover to the beach. That just feels annoying. And I don't know if my brain is gonna be big enough for either of these. So I think I'm gonna bring A Botanical Daughter, my Kindle, and this little romance, and that way I have 3 or 4 different vibes that I can choose from. Okay, it's already past 11 and we need to hit the road, so I will see you in Charleston. It's Saturday. We made it to Charleston. We had a really fun night. Last night, lunch was so good, and then we walked around Charleston and found a bookstore, and I found Blind Date with a Book. I've been looking for Blind Date with a Book for like 2 or 3 years now, and I've never been able to find one, so I'm really excited to see what this is. I'm gonna open it with you guys. It's a memoir from an Irish-born poet and storyteller. It's supposed to be hilarious and heartbreaking, as well as a lyrical homage to the people and landscapes that ultimately shape our destinies. An illumination of boyhood, family, imagination, emotions, and nature with multiple layers of splendor and affection. Almost every sentence or story in this memoir is quotable, and the quote is, "Home is where the heart is, but the heart itself has no home." And we're gonna find out what this is. I'm gonna put you down so I can open this. I apologize for the dog barking. I'm just sitting outside so I don't bother anyone. Okay, let's open this. Ooh. Okay, it's Walking with Ghosts by Gabriel Byrne. I'm so excited for this because I literally never would have picked up this cover, but I can't wait to see what I find. Oh, it's got a quote from Percy Shelley in the front, so we're off to a good start. So exciting! I can't believe I found Blind Date with a Book. I was so happy. You should have seen my face in that bookstore. Today, I think the plan is beach day, so some of my friends are out grabbing some food, some breakfast for us, and then I think we're gonna head to the beach, so I will see you there. Hello, we are back in Charlotte. This weekend was a whirlwind and I am exhausted trying to get back into the Monday swing of things. I'm on my lunch break right now and I am sleepy. That was truthfully so much fun. I love my friends so much and I am so sad because we're all kind of scattering pretty soon here. My best friend here is moving. She's going to get her MBA and I'm so proud of you, Shaista, if you're watching. And then Dan and I are leaving in November. Some of our friends have already left. It kind of feels like everyone is moving, is leaving. And I feel like it's been a long time since we've caught up. I think we're due for a Q&A. Maybe when we hit 5K, we'll do a Q&A because I feel like just so much has changed. If you missed last week's video, I did hint that Dan and I are going to be going and working remotely from Costa Rica for a few months, starting in November. And we booked our Airbnb. So we're going. I'm very excited about it, but I am a little overwhelmed because obviously a lot of things have happened in the background that I haven't super been sharing with you guys, like the Sully situation. He is thriving. I have a picture for you guys. This is him with his chicken. He is now completely off leash. He is at the farm. He is learning his way around all the livestock. And I got this picture and I started sobbing because I always hoped, but I don't think I ever really believed that he could be this happy and this calm. He's off his anxiety meds. He's protecting chickens. He's nose to nose with this tiny little chicken and it gave me a lot of joy. Anyways, the trip was fantastic. We were staying in Foley Beach, which is like 20 minutes from Charleston. So we stopped in Charleston on our way to the Airbnb. Dan and I drove down together and we just got lunch, had a little espresso martini, hung out, walked around, saw some shops, met up with our friends, and then went to the Airbnb, had dinner, and then we just walked around to some bars around Foley Beach and hung out. And we had just such a nice time. I love a friendship trip. We spent the whole next day at the beach. I read a lot of my book, which I'll tell you about in just a second. It was just so nice to be around this incredible group of friends that I love so much and hang out. And we went into Charleston that night and got dinner, and that was really lovely as well. And then yesterday we packed up, walked around Charleston, did a wee bit of shopping, and then went home, where I promptly fell asleep on my couch. I am exhausted. Let's talk books. My Kindle is covered in sunscreen and sand, and I'm not mad about it. I parked my little butt on the beach, and I think I'm about 75% of the way into Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. This is the new release that's coming out, I think, in June. Oh my gosh, okay, I read quickly. I'm 77% of the way through. So I'm almost done with it. And I was really enjoying it at the beginning. Let me give you a synopsis. So we're in two different timelines. We're in this beach town, which made it a perfect thing to read on this little vacation. We're in a beach town in England, and we have this little, not little, it's a gigantic house, this big manor. And in the past timeline, we are following this girl as she is making this friend at the manor. So our main character lives in the trailer park. We're reading her diary basically, and then her frenemy maybe this girl has kind of like invited her into the manor, and there are like some things going on there. And then we also are in this present day. By the way, I said main character, but we're in the heads of all different people. So in present day, we get to see a lot of the different people's perspectives. So we have Francesca, who is the one who is open to this manor, and her husband. We also get the perspective of this woman who is staying there, who's got a connection to this place and is trying to uncover some things. We also have this boy called Eddie, who we're getting his perspective as well. So we are in the perspective of a lot of different people. And there's this overtone of spookiness, because right away we learn that this manor burns to the ground and someone has died. That's in like chapter 1. It's one of those books where it tells you what happens and then we don't really know how we got there, so that's what we're trying to uncover. And usually I love that in a book. Catherine Steadman does this in all of her books, and I really like how it's done there, but it's feeling a little boring in this one. Like, I just want to know what happens, and like, things have happened. We have uncovered some things, but I want that climax, and I know I'm not going to get it until the last 20 pages of the book, but it's just a little frustrating because I feel like I want more action, and right now it's just been a lot of like foreboding and not a lot of things happening. You may disagree with me, and you're totally entitled to that opinion, but feeling a wee bit disappointed. I'm still enjoying it. I'm probably gonna give it like a 3.5, which is not a bad rating at all, but that is what I'm feeling so far. I will let you know my final thoughts at the end of it. But I have started another book because I needed an audiobook So I have picked up the audiobook for The Ministry of Time because it was available on Everand. And I feel like if I don't read this week, I will never read it. And I don't think I'm liking it, and I'm really sorry to have that update for you. This is a little time travel type situation. It's a romance. We have this woman who's working for the Ministry of Time. And there is this guy from like the 1840s, and he has been brought into present day. He was like going to die, and so they brought him here in order to like not mess with the time. They're trying to figure out what the effects of time travel are on humans, and she is his bridge. She's like supposed to be his companion, his friend, to like bridge him into our time and explain washing machines and Spotify to him. I don't want them to get together. He's acting like an old man because he's from the 1800s, and she's acting like a young woman, so it feels incorrect. I want to root for a friendship way more than I want to root for a romantic relationship. You wouldn't get those types of differences with people who were like in an age range that would make sense. Anyways, it's feeling a little weird. I love like a rom-com banter situation. That's not what I'm getting. I'll let you guys know how it goes. I think that's my last update. I'm gonna go clean the sand out of all of my articles of clothing, and I will see you later. I finished The Midnight Feast, and literally as soon as I picked this book back up, all the action happened in the last 20% of the book. And I know that that's some people's preference in a thriller, that you want it to like build up this super slow burn. You want to be like confused and trying to figure out what's going on, and it's slow and gothic, and then you have this foreboding and you know that something big happens because it teases it, and then the last 20% of the book is absolutely wild. And I've been known to like books like that before, but I think this is, it's gonna be a 3.5. I was right at my prediction. I really liked how this ended. I was shocked. I was surprised at some of the twists and turns. I didn't see them coming. Interesting things going on here with people from the past coming back into the future, and like not knowing who those characters are, and everyone is significant, and a good thriller for some people, but it was not my favorite thing. And this is why. I prefer a thriller that is action-packed all the way through. I feel the same way with horror as well. I want a book to have horrifying elements all the way through if it's horror. I love and hate forming my own opinion before I hear other people's opinions, so I really hope this will work better for other people, and I don't want to discourage anyone from reading it, but it always sucks when I read an arc and I don't love it, because then I don't get to scream from the rooftops about it and convince a bunch of other people to go and get it. But thank you to NetGalley for the proof of this. I did enjoy it, but not as much as I was hoping I would. That's what I'll say about The Midnight Feast. I have Canadian candy to try with you guys. Last weekend, I was also traveling, which is why there haven't been vlogs, because obviously everything happened with Sully, and then I was in Canada for my grandmother's 90th birthday, and it was so nice. This is the first time I had seen my extended family, some of them in 15 years, and that is too long to go without seeing family. And it was, gosh, it felt so nice to hug my grandma. I hadn't seen her in 7 years. I hadn't seen most of my family in 10 years. I hadn't seen a lot of them in 15. So it was really, really nice to see everyone. And Dan was able to come and meet everyone. And I'm gonna get mushy and then we'll try candy, okay? This Canada trip and this trip to Charleston, like I am so in love with that man. And I am so happy and thankful that we found each other, and just going and visiting family and like seeing how he interacts with my family. He is just such a good partner. And some things happened in Canada. Unfortunately, my childhood cat, Sweet Pea, I'll put a picture of her here. We got her when I was in 5th grade. She passed away on Sunday night last week. It's been a rough couple of weeks, and I'm really glad that I was able to kind of get out and go to Charleston this weekend and have that time. But even without that, I'm really, really glad that Dan's in my life, because he just takes care of me so well when I need it. So let's try some Canadian candy. I have a cup of tea because it's very necessary when you're eating chocolate. We went to an arcade, and with my winnings, I got some little fun-sized candy bars to try. So this is an O. Henry, and it's kind of like a Snickers bar. So we're gonna try it together. All of my mom's side of my family is either in Portugal, in the Azores, on the island of Terceira, or they are in Canada. So I grew up going to Canada to go visit family, and I haven't had these candies in like 10 years now. So it's really fun for me to try these again. So this is what she looks like. It's like a Snickers bar. That's so good. I think an O. Henry is more peanut forward than our Snickers bars are, and the chocolate is definitely different. I think they are fantastic. And then our second Canadian candy is a Mr. Big bar. I remember loving these, and this is just a gigantic one. I think there's like 2 big pieces in here. Yeah, there's like 2 full-size candy bars in here. So let's try this one. This one has like more like crispy stuff in it. Look at that. It's got like a wafer in it. These are so good. And there's like caramel in there too. I didn't realize this, but apparently in Canada, everything has to have English and French on it. So if you look on here, like everything is in French. I didn't remember seeing that 10 years ago, but I was a child, so I guess I wasn't paying attention. Those are so good. While I munch on my candy, we need to pick a new book to read. Let me go get some choices. My original plan was to pick up Mixed Signals, and I actually tried to get the audiobook for this, but I couldn't find it. The wait at my library is like months long. So I have it on hold now, but I think maybe I won't start this because I'm already reading A Romance with the Ministry of Time. Maybe we pick up A Botanical Daughter to get some horror, but I don't know. Something's really calling me to this. Maybe here's what we'll do. I'll read the first chapter of both of these, and then I also have a cozy fantasy on my Kindle that I need to read before June. So let's try the first chapter of all 3 of these, and then we'll check back in. I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is I don't know which one of these I want to pick, because the good news is that I loved the first chapter of all of them. So a good predicament to have. We started with Mixed Signals and I very nearly did not pick the rest of them up because I was like, this is adorable and fantastic. The first chapter was only 6 pages long, and it was our main character Layla having a horrendous date with this guy who sounds awful. And the premise of this book is that I think in our next chapter, this guy is going to kind of save her from this date gone bad. And he proposes 1 month of no strings dating. And he basically wants to renew her faith in men. And then she's gonna like rate him on his dating so that he gets better. I don't know. It sounds cute and fun. And this, I think, is very much the type of romance that I'm going to enjoy. And now I'm even more worried about the Ministry of Time because I just don't think it's gonna be the romance that I want it to be. So I really wish that I had the audiobook of this because I want to switch to reading this instead of the other one. Okay, then I picked up A Botanical Daughter, and like on page 2, I was like, you know, I don't know about this, but the first chapter was 20 pages long. And we've just been introduced to the fungus. So we have these 2 men, Simon and Gregor, and one of them is very neat and meticulous. The other one's very messy. They both work in this conservatory situation, botanical garden, and one of them is very into taxidermy and the other is very into botany. One of them gets this package delivered, which is this crate that has this fungus in it, and already the fungus is like putting the lid back on its crate. So it's very active and very mobile and horrifying, and I'm really interested to see what happens next in this. And then, if that wasn't already hard enough picking between these 2, I read the first chapter of The Girl Who Kept the Castle, and it was so unbelievably adorable. Like, I am so excited to read this. Our main character is 12 years old. She is the groundskeeper's daughter. Her dad is the groundskeeper for the Wizard of the West, and he has just died. And it feels very Studio Ghibli coded, and there are 4 wizards in this world for each of the directions, and one of them is named Ghibli. So I feel like it's gonna be Studio Ghibli vibes all the way through. We have already met a compost dragon, which is just the cutest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. Our main character has to tell this wizard that he is dead and it's not going well for her. And I want to find out what happens next. So now I really don't know what to do because now I'm reading 3 books and I love all of them. And I'm about to go for a walk and read a book that I'm not enjoying. Okay, I'm gonna go for a nice long walk. We're gonna try to get to the halfway mark in the Ministry of Time, and then I'll let you know what I have decided to pick back up when we get back inside. It is absolutely pouring rain out there. I look like a drowned rat. I tried to take a little walk. It said it was gonna stop raining and then it did not, but happy Tuesday. Let me get you caught up. I have read some audiobook while we took our lunchtime walk. So I am now halfway through the Ministry of Time. It's getting better. This has got to be the slowest burn romance that I have ever experienced in my life. I feel like this as a romance was a little overpitched, and maybe I read into it what I wanted out of the marketing, but for the back to say boy meets girl, I immediately think, okay, this is a romance. We all know from Skater Boy how that story goes. I just want them to be friends. I don't really want them to be romantically involved. I just want them to be besties. She kind of jokingly calls him like her overgrown son, which is a weird vibe for a romance book. But he also is giving kind of old man vibes. Anyways, the romance, not it. I want them to be best friends though. I do like both of them. The mission itself, they call them expats who are coming from the past into the present. There's 5 of them. They're all from different time zones. They all call each other by their like last 2 time periods. So like Commander Gore is from 1847, so they call him 47, and there's like a woman from 17 whatever, and there's a guy from 19 something else, and they call them by their last 2 numbers of the time they were taken from, which I think is cute and fun. That mission itself, there's some secrets, there's some stuff going on. Someone has just died, like it's gotten a bit crazy conspiracy almost. And that I am super interested in. I want to see where that goes, but I wasn't expecting that to be the thing that I was the most invested in. I was expecting this to be a little bit more romance than it is, but I'm enjoying it more than I was when I first talked to you. So that's that update. Second update I have for you is that I have selected the book that we are reading physically because I'm reading this mostly on audiobook. But last night I got, I think about 30% of the way into The Girl Who Kept the Castle. I just wanted like a cute little middle grade, and it's exactly what I wanted. And I just found out that tonight Dan is gonna go to the gym after tutoring, so we should have even more time to read than I thought we would. Dan and I tutor some like middle school, high school kids every Tuesday, so that'll be tonight. And then I will see y'all back here after work and we will get some more reading done. Okay. Hello friends. I'm just leaving work. I'm headed home because there's supposed to be a big storm, so I want to try to beat the storm if I can, so we gotta be quick. But I need to tell you about Ministry of Time. I didn't bring it with me, but I'm sure Edited and Katie put a lovely picture here. They finally kissed like 63% of the way into the book, and the reason why I'm updating you today and not yesterday is because Dan did come over after the gym, and we ended up trying to plan all the things that we need to do before Costa Rica in November, and we got a little overwhelmed and there are a lot of things to figure out, but I did manage to get a nice long walk in before he came over, and it was lovely. And I listened to a good chunk of the Ministry of Time. I think I'm like 80-ish% of the way. Let me figure that out. Yeah, I'm 83% of the way into this. I have like an hour left of the audiobook, so I should be finishing this pretty soon. They finally kissed like 60-70% of the way into the book, and then 2 pages later there was a very graphic sex scene, and I was not expecting it at all. So prepare yourself, because the vibes do not give that it's going to be that play-by-play, but it is, you get all the details, which I don't think is what I prefer in a romance book. I think I prefer more closed door. No shade to anyone who prefers to know all of the details, but just like with my friends, I don't prefer to know other people's private business. It's made this weird shift. It's gone from them not acting like they like each other pretty much, like they're just friends, to them instantly being in love with each other, and I don't love it. It's feeling very insta-love for a relationship that we have seen so much of. Like, I would have preferred for there to have been some banter. Like, there's this really cute moment where he was like, I've been trying to court you,
and she was like, what do you mean I didn't get that? But I wish we almost like were in his head so we could hear what he was trying to do to court her, even though he wasn't being successful and she didn't catch on. I don't know. I needed more demonstration that they both liked each other. I didn't believe her when she said that she loved him, and I didn't believe him when he said he'd been trying to court her. I feel like you often see this in like historical fantasy where the man knows a lot more about sex than the woman does, and I don't really like that trope. It made me slightly uncomfortable in the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. This is kind of the opposite. I'm trying to say these words without saying these words, but she has to teach him how to do something, and that's not something that I'd like seen before. I'd seen the man teaching the woman, I hadn't seen the woman teaching the man. Anyways, it's really hot in here. I'm gonna go home. It's already started raining. I will let you know how the end of this happens, but the whole like Ministry of Time subplot is most of the plot. The romance is kind of a subplot. I'm confused. This whole time situation has really picked up, and I am curious to see how that ends up, but I'm not super invested in this romance. Anyways, let's go home.
I am wet. The storm has started, but I went for a little walk before it got too bad and finished The Ministry of Time. And I don't know where it is, so let me find it. I'm gonna give this 3 stars. It was fine. This is a debut, and I would definitely pick up more from this author in the future because I think it has a lot of potential. I didn't love how underdeveloped the romance felt in my mind. I really liked the sci-fi plot situation, how that all happened. I thought that was very well done. I just think, especially for something pitched as a romance, to go from feeling like they weren't attracted to each other at all, really, to being in love with each other, I just didn't really get that. I did like how it ended. It's not gonna end in the way that you would think a traditional romance is going to end. So if you go into this thinking that this is gonna be a rom-com, that's not what you're getting out of this. It's a sci-fi, hard-hitting, emotional, time travel-y book that also has a romance subplot in it, in my opinion. That's what I thought about this. I'm gonna finish up my work day, and then I think I will see you all tomorrow for a final update. I'm gonna try to fit another book in here. I don't know if it's gonna be part of an audiobook or if I'm gonna try to finish The Girl Who Kept the Castle, but I'm gonna try to give you something else in this because I feel like all we've been doing is reading books and going on walks. So I'll try to provide you with a little more substance. The rain has stopped, the sun is out, and I have a package. Let's open it. It's not book related, it's just clothes. But I have a Fabletics membership and I always cancel it. And I forgot to this month, and I should probably just cancel it for real. But I actually am super excited about the purchase that's in here. While I open this, let me tell you about what I've been reading because I started a DNF like 3 things since we've spoken. I was looking for an audiobook to read and I discovered that this is available on Hoopla. Remember the book that I wanted to read? It was there. So then I started listening to it on the audiobook. Through that process, realized that this is the 3rd book in the Love Light Farm series. And I was like, oh, but I'm pretty sure these are standalones. I can just read it out of order because I've read the first one, but I haven't read the second one, which is this. I don't remember what it's called. I was like, oh, I'll just read it. And then it kind of seemed like I should know who some people were, and I didn't know who they were. So then I started reading this, and I didn't like it. It was just a lot of graphic sex scenes, and it wasn't really, I wanted to actually like the characters first before that happened. So then I DNF'd that. And then I went back and forth for like a long time, like reading 5 minutes of this and reading 5 minutes of this and being like, no, I can read this. And then being like, I'm not enjoying this. I just want to read this. And then being like, oh, I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. So then I picked up The Haunting of Belkwood Lane, I think it's called. Because I was like, well, this is available on Everend, and I just watched Kayla from Books and Lala's recent video, and I was like, oh, this looks super interesting and up my alley. I want to read this. But then I was like, no, I really just want a cozy little rom-com. So now I'm officially reading this, and I am 56 pages in, and I'm loving it. It is exactly what I wanted, and I think this is doable as a standalone. I don't think you need to read the second one. I think it would help to read Love Light Farms just so you know like what the vibe is. I'm having a good time even without reading the second one. So that's currently what's happening. I've also still been reading The Girl Who Kept the Castle. I think I told you guys I was 30% of the way through it. I'm not. I'm like 17% of the way through it. But I'm still enjoying that as well. I'm gonna try these clothes on. I'm gonna show you my little fit. Okay, so the first thing I got is this like off the shoulder sweatshirt moment. And really what I wanted. This was like, I used like one credit and got both of these. This is really why I placed the order. It's a cute little like tennis skirt. Interesting. I think both of these are too big, unfortunately. I think I forget. I'm usually a medium in most places, but I'm definitely a small in Fabletics. Shoot, now I'm gonna have to return this. Okay. Maybe I'll exchange it because I feel like the vibe is cute. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna return it. I don't think this is cute enough to keep. I love the off the shoulder vibe, especially with like this cute little bralette from Parade. But alas, I don't think it's cute enough to keep. It is a super nice day out and it has been raining all week. So I think we're gonna go hang out outside and read a cheeky little book and maybe go for a cheeky little walk. And then we'll wrap this up because this video has to go up tomorrow. Let's go get some sunshine. Hello my loves, I am here for our final update. I am halfway through-ish Mixed Signals. And this is so cute. I'm kicking my feet. I love it so much. I love just a cute little romance. And these, I know I literally just told you that I don't like romance with steamy scenes in it, but the ones in here and the ones in Love Life Farms, I remember being not cringe. I'll allow them. I just think it's so cute and so sweet because we have this guy who's a little like insecure in his dating because he feels like he tries to do too much and he's trying to plan these really elaborate dates and they're not going to plan. Like he takes her to an escape room because her friend told him that she loves escape rooms, but the nice like tropical vacation escape room was not available. So instead they have to do the zombie apocalypse one, and surprise, there's 3 other random people there that they know who are super obnoxious. And it's just so silly, like the way that these dates fall apart, and it's very endearing and it's very clear that he likes her from day one. Like I really believe that he has been pining for her, and she owns this bakery and he's been like ordering custom cakes every 2 weeks because he just wants an excuse to talk to her, and she's slowly falling for him. And I love that story where the man falls first. So I'm having a really lovely time with this and I'm going to absolutely devour this, likely in the next 24 hours. But I have to go edit this video and then I have to go to bed. We got through so many things in this video. We read The Midnight Feast, which we gave 3.5 stars. We read The Ministry of Time, which we gave 3. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be like a 4 or 4.5. It's sweet, it's fun, I'm enjoying it. And then I'm also, I think like 17% into The Girl Who Kept the Castle, which I will give you guys final thoughts on this and that book in our wrap up in just a couple of weeks. Truthfully, I have absolutely zero clue what next week's video will be, so we'll just find out together what happens, what this little brain cooks up. I will see you next week. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all so very much. It's been nice to get to vlog again and just catch up with you guys and hang out with you. So let me know in the comments what you have been up to in your life because I want to hear, I want to catch up. Let's have a little chat. And I will see you guys next time. I am now posting Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern, so you know the timing has been solidified. I'm just going to post every Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. So I will see you then. Bye.